She was just an excellent person. It's real hard right now for her not to be here.
Derek Bizzle says he's still reeling after a walk around his neighborhood with his wife Monday quickly turned into a nightmare.
We walked around the block one time. We said we'll do it again. We came around the second time, and that's when the tragic accident happened.
Today's video, we will be in Chesterfield, Virginia, located about a 25-minute drive south from Richmond, Virginia, the capital of the state. In the Ammonhurst neighborhood in Chesterfield, the Bizzle family called the area home for many years now. The community is a nice family-oriented area and generally pretty quiet. However, the normal peaceful community was rocked when a man allegedly decided to bring unforeseen harm to others just because he felt like hurting someone, targeting a couple, bringing harm to both of them, and tragically, one losing their life. 42-year-old Shaunda Bizzell was described as an excellent person with a beautiful, infectious smile. She was a beloved wife, mother, daughter, and much more. Shonda was married to 51-year-old Derek Bizzle, and the couple shared 2 adult kids. They had a daughter that is currently 30 and a son that just graduated in 2023 who is 19. The pair's son, who has autism, did not talk until he was almost 3, according to Derek, and having a child that was born with autism was life-changing. However, the couple were proud parents and gave their son everything he needed to succeed in life. The married couple had built a beautiful life for themselves and enjoyed it. With the start of the seasons changing from winter to spring in 2024, Derek enjoyed taking walks in his neighborhood and generally went alone, according to him. On Monday, March 25, 2024, as Derek prepared to take his daily walk, his wife decided to join him on this particular day. As the pair were enjoying their stroll around the neighborhood, they walked around one time and then decided to circle around for a second time. As they were going for their second lap, tragedy struck out of nowhere. According to Derek, as they were coming around a curve and got close to a van, they could see a car coming up the street. As the car got closer to Derek and Shonda, he could see the man veer in their direction, and he screamed Shonda's name before hearing a big thump. The impact knocked her on top of the car and knocked him under, but he was able to get up and dial 911. When authorities arrived, they rushed Shonda to the hospital, where sadly, she passed away shortly after arriving from her injuries. Even though Derek called 911, coincidentally, they were already in the neighborhood because they had just received a terrifying call about another situation. According to the authorities, a 22-year-old man by the name of Daniel Anderson called 911 shortly before that crash. Daniel then identified himself to the 911 operator and went on to make multiple alarming statements, including remarks of using a weapon in public places, harming others, plus harming law enforcement. It was quickly determined that the car accident was not an accident, but in fact, it involved that same man making threats to harm others.
Community members say they are at a loss for words over the unexpected and tragic death of Shaunda Bizzell. Her husband, Derek Bizzle, says they were doing something they love, walking around their neighborhood here when the incident happened.
No sleep, no eating.
Going through the motions is all Chesterfield resident Derek Bizzell has been able to do the last 24 hours.
Just a numbness. You just keep yourself moving.
That's because an everyday activity in his neighborhood resulted in the tragic death of his wife, Shaunda Bizzell, Monday evening.
We were just out taking a walk. This was her first time walking with me this year. I've been walking like the last 3 weeks. I asked her if she wanted to go. She said yes. We went around one time, nothing. We went around the second time, and the tragedy happened.
The Chesterfield Police Department says evidence shows 22-year-old Daniel Anderson swerved his car on purpose to hit the couple. As the investigation was unfolding, the authorities went to the home of Daniel, who is now in jail, and wanted to get further information. Law enforcement spoke with Daniel's father, who stated that his son has a documented history of a developmental disability and that he was having some sort of episode before the incident. Strangely enough, Daniel was also on the spectrum and has been diagnosed as autistic. Daniel's father also told authorities he and Daniel had an argument and that Daniel walked out of their home, but his parents had no idea he had the keys to the vehicle in his hand. This was not Daniel's first time making the news, as he went missing in 2022, but was later located. According to one person who went to school with him, she was not surprised by his actions. She wrote, "Went to school with this young man. He's on the spectrum. Does not excuse what he did. I eventually saw this coming, as he would make these threats like this all the time." Wow, so allegedly he has been saying this all these years. I wonder if his parents even looked into these claims. I am sure he has verbalized these same things to them over the years.
This incident playing out Monday evening here at the Amherst community just off Route 1 north of Colonial Heights. A tragic situation. A woman walking with her husband, we're told, hit and the crash happening just before 7 o'clock Monday night on the 2700 block of Amherst Ridge Way. You can see the damage that is left behind. Police say 22-year-old Daniel Anderson called police, identified himself, and then made multiple threatening statements. Officers responded to his address, which is in this neighborhood, and they ended up finding a crash scene. He had hit two pedestrians apparently, and police now say evidence shows he swerved to hit those pedestrians. One of the victims passed away at the hospital. She's been identified as Shaunda Bizzell, and she lives in this neighborhood, about a block away from where the crash scene happened. Anderson's father telling CBS 6 on the phone that his son has a documented history of a mental health disorder and that he had some sort of episode, he believes, Monday afternoon. The father says they had an argument and that Anderson walked out of their home, but they had no idea he had the keys to the vehicle in his hand. They say they're devastated that Miss Bizzle died in this wreck.
I cannot even begin to imagine what Derek felt seeing what happened to his wife. Also, Derek said he knew Daniel was his neighbor, but said he and Shonda did not know anything personally about him. He told the local news that the loss of his wife does not feel real and that he would do anything to switch places so that his wife would still be alive today. As to be expected, the tight-knit community is at a loss for words that something of this magnitude could happen where they live. Even though the crime scene is now cleared and everything is cleaned up, psychological damage remains because it is a tragedy that can't be forgotten. Daniel was ultimately charged with several felonies, including second-degree unaliving, and is currently being held in jail with no bond. Sadly, Shonda lost her life just a few days shy of her 43rd birthday, which is on March 30th. This should not have happened, and Shonda should still be alive and be here. My deepest thoughts and prayers go out to her husband, children, and loved ones in this unforeseen difficult time. So please don't forget to comment your thoughts and prayers for this family as well in their difficult time, and hit that like button and share to make your people aware. And as always, remember to stay woke. Things change quickly.